All right, so train project. All right, so this is a classic. It's based off of an old project, Lead the Way project. When I first started teaching, I was highly reliant on when I was first started teaching Engineering 1. I had never used 3D modeling software, never used 3D printers, uh, and I was highly reliant on the curriculum that the previous teacher had given, which was based on Project Lead the Way. Now, certain aspects of Project Lead the Way stuff that are awesome. They're fun. They're good. Other things aren't so fun. So I try to take out the not so fun stuff and keep the fun stuff. This is one of the ones that uh, it can be a challenge. It can be a challenge, but when you're done, you have a sense of accomplishment, and it's one of those things that in engineering two, my students kind of remember back to and say, "Oh yeah, I remember that one part. It was a pain in the butt." Blah blah blah. It's going to introduce an idea of what's called an assembly. So last year during quarantine, this project got cut out. I did the trust competition before I did this project um, because I wanted to make sure my seniors would have time to do the trust competition and spend enough time on it before we did this one. So we went to quarantine, we didn't do this. So we did it at the beginning of this year with my engineering 2 students. So these videos already exist for most of this project. This video I'm recording now, I'll put right at the head here. And it's basically be two introductory videos. All right, so what you do here is you get into the topic, you grab the instructions. Now, what I'm looking for in your notebook is just like the end of period, just throw a screenshot in there of your progress. That's it. Get in that habit, okay? Some people were kind of scrambling at the end, trying to like make it up. Just have your notebook ready to go at the end of the period. Just get a quick screenshot of your progress, whatever that might be. Get a screenshot in there, put the date in there. Then at the end of there's no planning sketches here. There's no inspiration printout. It's literally going to be your progress as we go. And then at the end, it's going to be mechanical drawing. So it's kind of like the part replication project in that respect. It's not going to be, there's no planning sketches or anything. Daily notes, they can pretty much just be your daily screenshots, all right? So um, in the rubric here, kind of shows that. So, you're going to replicate the parts based on the drawings, and you pretty much just want to do them in order that they're given to you. Now, what happens here is some of these parts are repeated, right? You don't have to model it multiple times, obviously. You model it once, and then when we go to do what's called the assembly, you can bring multiple instances of each part in and put it all together. So in Autodesk Inventor, you can actually take all these little pieces and actually make the little train car, and you can make the wheels spin and stick together if you do it all right. It's kind of opens up a whole new way of modeling things. We're going to model each part individually, and there's 9 parts total. All right, there's the body. That's where we start usually. The smokestack, this one is a little challenging. There's a dimension here that can be a little bit tricky. A hitch magnet, hitch peg, the wheel. The wheel, by the time we get to the wheel, I think you guys, you'll be rolling. Um, the axle peg, this one's a little harder than it looks. This is the easiest one, the linkage arm. The linkage peg, believe it or not, these are a little bit tricky to make. Cow catcher, this is going to have a loft and a shell in it, and an offset. This one's a nice one to practice a couple different techniques that we haven't used in a while, or maybe you never have used. And then you assemble it, and it ends up looking like that. And we add color to all the pieces. In the videos, I had done that, and I can't find I was trying to find my train that I had made for those videos, and I don't know, I couldn't find it. I was trying to find the assembly to kind of show you it, to kind of get you started with thinking about things. And mini train, is this it? Assembly? See, it's not put together there. Oh well, I'll figure that out. I'll go through and show you some of the parts anyway. So the first part there is the body. This one, all right, you're going to start by drawing an L, the L shape here. And this arc at the top of the L, we'll do that after the fact. We'll actually extrude that off and round it off. So the first trick here is figuring out how tall to make the L, right? That's the first trick here, is how tall to make the L in the back. And it's actually a combination. You have to do a little math here. So let me just show you this, how you can do this in Autodesk Inventor. So I'm going to start a new part. All right. I'm going to start a sketch on the vertical plane. I guess this plane. And then I'm going to look at some dimensions here. So the L's got to be 5.5 inches wide. All right, so that's the first thing I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw a 5.5 inch line across the bottom just to get everything just to get it so I'm looking at it right. All right, so then I zoom out, get it kind of centered. Then I'm going to basically just draw a rough outline of what this shape should look like. All right, and then I'm going to go back to the sketch and make note of all the dimensions. Make sure you're snapping stuff horizontal here. You don't want to end up with a crooked line. So I just kind of draw the basic L, but then I'm going to dimension stuff. So first I'm going to figure out how tall the front of it should be. All right, so I go back to the PDF file here. Let me zoom in here. Trying to figure out how tall this corner is, and where is that? Oh, it's hard to see, right? It says 0.88 here. It's a little bit hard to see. 0.88. So when I go back to my drawing now, I can dimension that 0.88. All right, now let's figure out how wide this part is. So go back to my drawing here. I don't think I have that. I don't have that exactly. I have how wide this part is. 1.75 is how wide the vertical part of the L is. They don't give me from here to here. So it's 1.75 from the back of the L to this part. So I just, now I'm not going to do that dimension. I'm going to delete that dimension. I'm going to go from here to here, 1.75. Now I got to get the height of the back of this. We're going to make it so we want the maximum height of the back part, and then we're going to extrude off the arc later on. So the way you do that, I go back to that PDF real quick. I look at the back of the model here. All right. They tell us the radius of this arc is 2.35. All right. And the center of the arc is 0.375 off the bottom. So the total height from the bottom of the back here all the way up to the top of this arc is 0.375 plus 2.35. And you know what? I really don't want to get out a calculator, right? So what you can do here, this is something new. I used to have a whole activity on this. You can do math in here. You can write 0.375 plus, and I forgot what the other one was, 2.35. You can literally 2.3, just do the math there without doing it in a calculator. Yeah, 2.35. And then you got it. And then I'm going to extrude that. All right? I'm going to extrude that shape. And how wide is the train? I got to go back and figure that out. So it looks like it's 2 inches wide. So that extrusion's got to be 2 inches. Sweet. Now from there, there's a few ways to go. Right? I got to draw this part. There's quite a bit more to do. Draw this circle. We're going to have to make a work plane tangent to that cylinder once we make it, and make a hole on there. This window, guys, you got to be careful on this window. When we cut out this window, look, it goes flat at the back. It's not just a circle. It's a circle, but it's set in a little bit, and you have to make it come out straight. So we'll draw a circle on the side of this, but we'll make some straight lines off of it and close it off, so it'll be kind of like a backwards D. And then we'll cut it out. But let's see if we can figure out this arch here. This arc here. All right. We got to make a point, 0.37. So we got to go to the back of this model. We got to get to the back view. And I'm going to start a sketch on the back here. All right. I'm going to project geometry. I want to bring in the outline of this into here. So I started a sketch in the back, and I did project geometry, and I just clicked the face, and it brought in this rectangle. And that's going to allow me to snap between the two sides here. It's right in the middle. I'm going to put a point there, and I'm going to dimension that point. And this point is going to be able to be used for multiple things. We're going to be able to use this point to make a hole in the back for the hitch peg. We're going to use it to draw a circle. It's got to be 0.375 off the bottom. Now watch this. This is cool. To get that curved shape at the top, I'm going to draw a circle starting at that center point. And all I got to do is bring it up tangent here. And the radius, so that point ends up being 0.375 off the bottom. And then I'm going to draw this circle from that point I just made. I'm just going to bring it up so it runs tangent to this top of this. And watch what happens. If you dimension this, you don't even need to dimension it, but it's going to be twice that radius that we had read off the back. You don't even need to dimension it because we know that's got to be where the top is. Now check this out. I don't know if anybody's done this yet. Somebody broke their lightsaber in half, and I was on purpose. They split it. There's a special extrusion. If you have a solid body and you only want to keep what's inside the closed surface, there's a special extrusion for that. You hit extrude, and the profile is the circle, right? It's right here. It's called intersect. It's only going to keep, and then you can just grab this orange arrow and just drag it up. It's only going to keep everything that fits inside that circle. So it's going to exclude the stuff that's outside that circle, and it's going to round off the top for you. So back on, after I drew that circle here, let me make that sketch visible again. I drew that circle, and then I finished sketch, and I hit extrude, right? And there's the third option, which you may have not used before. It's called intersect. So when you hit that, you just got to make sure you drag it far enough to keep the whole thing.
Oh, the whole thing.
Yeah. So you hit intersect. Yeah. I think I just grabbed the arrow. I hit this. Yeah, I just grabbed the arrow and pulled it until everything was included. All right. What's that? Here.
I don't think it matters, but
Let me take a look. Go to that sketch. Let me pause. All right, so that's a good start to this train body, and then I can help you out with the side windows and the other part there.